And joining us now via satellite from Tampa, Florida, the gentleman from Best Choice Software. The software lets history to help you decide about the future. Joining us now is Sonny Decker, co-CEO. Sonny, what do you have for us this week?
Well, today, Don, we're going to be looking at a stock which is a very, very good stock over the course of the year. And this is called CME, which is the Chicago Mercantile Group. And I have it up on my chart, regular chart, up on the screen there. And once again, we rely on those seasonals. And look at that yellow line. First couple of months were pretty flat. And then, as you can see, it goes up from the 1st of March to July. And there, along the way here, are several very good trades. So I just clicked my mouse here, since we're in March. And looking over on the right, we can see that CME on March the 16th goes up. We want to buy it. And that typically runs 20 days. Now that's an average. These days could be fewer or could be a little longer. But if we're looking at 7 years of trading history, we had 6 times that it went up, which is over 85% of the time. And if we look down here again, as I've been showing in the past, looking at 08, we see a $61 move. And here it was going up again, and in 09, there's history, and there's the big move it had here, worth $61, and that was a 31% move on that stock, which would produce anybody a very good profit in a very short time.
Well, Sonny, thanks so much. Now, Pete Hoyt, the other co-CEO, you've got something else we're looking at. Pete?
Okay, last week I spoke about the energy stocks, and I showed 4 stocks. I showed Chevron, ConocoPhillips, Exxon, and British Petroleum. Now, in addition to trading individual stocks, you could also trade an ETF, which is an exchange-traded fund. So this week I thought I'd show an ETF, which is the USO, which stands for, if I click over here on tab number 1, it's the United States Oil Fund. And we can see that that also mirrors the same movement that I talked about last week on the individual stocks. It runs from March till about till the summertime. And although the ETF has only been in existence for 3 or 4 years, you see a lot of times we can use the individual stocks, which have been around for 10 years or so at least, where we can see a little bit better history of what typically happens this time of year. One other thing I'd like to point out, normally on stocks we have about 10 years of history. A lot of times earlier when I was showing you some of our commodities, commodities don't change. You see, like an ounce of gold today versus an ounce of gold 40 years ago is the same thing, or a bushel of wheat. When it comes to stocks, 10 years ago, let's say we take Apple Computer, what Apple makes today with the iPhones, 10 years ago they were predominantly making Macs, you see. So companies do change, whereas commodities, we can have a little bit longer history and be more comfortable with it. But this week, like I say, I wanted to continue up a little bit more on the oil stocks and show you an ETF.
Well, visit the website, bestchoicesoftware.com. Download a free demo. Guys, thanks so much. See you next week.